Richard Boom here. I'm not part of this madness.
Must have been to a higher ground, lifted up to a bed.
Alright, let's do this again! Alright, guys. Today we are... I find it amusing when Trump gives his speech. It's like he is plucking invisible butterflies in midair with his index finger and thumb. It's like he will pluck a butterfly while he's speaking and release that butterfly back and grab it again and release. But we're not here to talk about the invisible butterflies of President Donald Trump. We are here to talk about Afghanistan, I guess, but more of our present day equivalent of the Roman Empire, which is the present day empire called the United States of America. Because there is this funny thing that I keep on hearing people say. Something to the effect of, why can't just America stop the war in Afghanistan, in the Middle East, and... Well, the thing... How do I explain this to people? People think that governments and politicians and things that are happening in the world and everything that is happening in politics and the actions of country, they think that these are just whims. These are not whims. There is reason or precedence to why these things are happening. Why would America, the United States of America, not leave the Middle East, not leave Afghanistan and North Korea alone? Why? Why? I am convinced that there are permanent parts of the government, any government for that matter. But since America is our present day empire, it is the most powerful country in the world right now, we will talk about the US. There are permanent parts of the government of the US. I am really convinced of that. One of the reasons is that when you elect a new president, when you elect new officials, new senators, there are people in the government, the workers, the analysts, the appointees, the heads of certain agencies, the heads of certain departments, lobbyists, big governments, funders, people who fund politicians, and people who fund certain campaigns, certain programs. These people do not go with the president or the politicians when they leave office. They are there. And the interests of this group, the interests of these people, do not change when you change the president. The way I analyze things is I analyze them in what people in, I don't know, the people in the media, the people in the business, what people would call Realpolitik, which simply means that when you look at something that is happening in the political spectrum, you don't look at it in terms of idealism or ideology or the touchy-gooey woo stuff. You look at it in terms of, how do I say, power, not power. You look at it in terms of capacity. You look at it in terms of capabilities. That's why it's called Realpolitik. And I would add to that is you look at it in terms of interest. And I would add over that interest money. Follow the money. And when I say money, I just don't mean money as in currency, as in gold or silver or platinum, palladium. When I say money, I also mean resources. So we need to look at what is happening and why the United States will not leave countries alone in terms of realpolitik. Their interests and how you determine the interest is you look at the resources. What is America getting out of this? More specifically, call it whatever you want to call it, the permanent government, the shadow state, the Jews, or the Rothschild, whatever you want to call it. That permanent part of the government, they have their own interests. And I'm so convinced of that because if you look at the history of the United States of America since it rose to power after World War II, they've been involved in so many conflicts in the world. Now, I ask myself, when Barack Obama was running for president, he said that he would pull out troops, that he will have peace and whatever, whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And when he left office, he was the president who ordered more airstrikes than those who came before him. He bombed more countries, or he ordered more airstrikes than Bush and Clinton. He just goes like, okay, let's have drone strikes right there. Bomb that place, nigga. Boom. Anyway, that's not the point. But I noticed when Trump was running for president, he was ordering, or he was calling, let us not bomb other places. Let's just get along. It sounds really good, and I do agree with that. But my senses tell me that this is not possible. For the reason that you have permanent parts of the government whose goal and whose interest is not served by America just leaving the world alone. If you don't believe me, let us follow the money. And by the way, now Trump capitulated or gave in to this shadow government, not puppet government, deep state within, whatever you want to call it. Trump now gave in to that. And let's look at this. Now, America is first provoking war with Russia for the past, 8-9 months, based on zero evidence. And next, America bombed Syria under Trump this year. And now they want to go to war with North Korea. Now, let's think about this. Why would America not pull out or not leave the hell out or will not leave country at peace? Number one, you need to think that war is a business. There are a lot of businesses that profit from war. Do you think those bullets, those consumables, bullets, missiles, fuel, do you think those things are for free? There's someone who has to produce it. There's a company that has to produce it. And do you know how much those missiles and bullets and weapons cost? They cost more than your car, your house, your phone, your computer, your camera, and your fancy schmancy shoes. One Tomahawk missile costs $1 million, according to estimates. And can you imagine that using 59 Tomahawk missiles on Syria when Donald Trump bombed Syria cost $59 million just for the missiles? And on top of that, you need to pay for the fuel of the ships. You need to pay for the salaries of the Navy. You need to pay for the fuel. You need to pay for the uniform. You need to pay for the food of the troops. It's a big business. People are making money. And building ships, building aircrafts, that is a big business. Do you think that all of a sudden Raytheon, the producer of Tomahawk missile, will suddenly want the United States of America to be at peace with the world? That is $59 million just in one day. One target, which is a Syrian airfield. Do you think America, or at least these people that is in the background that a lot of people don't see, would like to have peace when they can make $59 million in just one day? And on top of that, do you think that the people producing the ships carrying this 59 Tomahawk missiles would like to lose business? I don't think so. Number 2, America, the United States of America, will never leave the Middle East alone, for the reason that the Middle East has oil. And a lot of people, when I say this, they go like, oh, oil? I mean, we have renewable energy now. We have solar, we have this, and oil. Look, you don't know how valuable oil is. Oil, petroleum, fossil fuel, compressed fossils that became fossil fuel. You don't know how valuable that is in our present day society. For civilization to work, we need oil. The vast majority of the energy, electricity that we are consuming in the world is produced by fossil fuels. And oil is everywhere. For every 1 calorie you eat, you are spending, or the process of getting that 1 calorie to your plate and to your stomach, you need to burn 10 calories of fossil fuel. On top of that, oil is everywhere. What do you think plastic is made of? Plastic is derived from oil. And your clothes, they have fossil fuel. I mean, that polyethylene is not polyethylene. That Under Armour shirt, that is synthetic fiber, and that is made of oil. The paints, they're made of oil. And they say, oh, we can conserve it because we now have electric fuel, we now have solar panels and all of this. Look, your car, even if it is electric, consumes fossil fuels. What do you think the dashboard is made of? That is plastic, and that plastic is derived from fossil fuels. What do you think the rubber of your wheels are made of? What? That comes from rubber trees? No, that is derived from fossil fuels again. The paint in your car. How about the car seats? Without fossil fuel, you're not going to have your electric car. I'm sorry to say. And without fossil fuel, you will not produce your solar panels. You still need fossil fuels to build the infrastructure for your solar panels. So to say that the United States of America will just leave the Middle East alone, it's just crazy. America consumes a lot of oil. If not, I think America is the country. I'm not sure of this, but maybe we could check. America is the largest consumer of fossil fuel. Do you think that with their slow production of fossil fuel in their own land, they will leave this black gold in the Middle East alone when they know full well that they can control it and take it? Do you think that they will do that? And do you ever wonder where the oil that is mined by ISIS in Syria is sold? Who is buying this oil? Hmm. Hmm. And we need to ask questions like that. It's very hard to find evidence of the deep state, the shadow government, the government within a government, the permanent state. It's very hard to find solid proof like the smoking gun, but we can have conjectures as to why, as to what, or as to the nature of this invisible entity in the background. Well, it's clear to me that there is something going on in the background because no matter who you put on the seat of the government, well, think of it this way: that political stage, political theater, that government, it does not matter who you put in it. It doesn't matter the face because the government behaves the same. Whether it is Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, no matter who wins, no matter who takes the seat, I do think that I can only guess as to what Hillary Clinton would do, but I would guess that the events will unfold the same way because there are things in the background that we do not see and would not like the United States of America to leave the world alone. And more recently, North Korea and Afghanistan. And Pakistan, pulling Pakistan and India with it? Why Afghanistan? Well, I've read this report. I was because I wanted to invest in lithium, and I read this report that somewhere, and I need to remember. I could not remember now, but it said something to the effect of Afghanistan is like the Saudi Arabia of lithium. And on top of that lithium, it has other minerals like gold, silver, and all of this. And why is this important to know? It is important to know because lithium, if you want to have your solar panels, your solar powered house, your electric powered car, lithium is needed for all of this technology. Lithium is the next oil. Mark my words, lithium is the next oil. And if you ramp up the production of electric cars and solar powered homes, you are going to need lithium to power that progress. And in case you don't know, lithium is used in batteries. Every gadget you have, or at least the vast majority of the gadgets today, uses lithium-ion batteries. Those batteries need lithium. And lithium, it's not that rare like gold, but you will need large quantities of this to power this eco-green future that we want. You cannot have electric cars and solar-powered homes without batteries, and you cannot have efficient batteries without lithium. Granted, there are technologies like flow batteries, but you still need lithium for high-powered applications such as electric-powered cars. Number 2 is, I forget how many points we've talked about, whatever the number, North Korea. Why is all of a sudden North Korea is in the picture? Well, according to reports, I wish I saved these documents that are not documents, but these articles and these things that I'm reading. But North Korea has a lot of minerals. They have a lot of untapped minerals. They do have a lot of minerals, according to this report. And to think that America will just attack North Korea because, hey, they have nuclear bomb and, they're going to attack us and our allies because freedom and blah, blah, blah. America does not care about freedom, democracy, and human rights. They don't freaking care. If they cared so much about freedom, the right to self-determination, democracy, they're not going to destabilize governments. They're not going to say, oh, you know what? You better accept democracy or else we're going to bomb the hell out of you. That is not freedom. They don't care. Freedom, democracy, and human rights is the pretense of America to accomplish their interests. So as to the question of, hey, why can't just America leave the world alone? They won't. They won't. Number one, they need minerals. They need minerals. Require more minerals. They need more minerals. They need natural resources that they cannot themselves produce in their own country. And when you have the most powerful military in the world, the biggest influence in the world, aren't you going to use it? The US is clearly using it. So guys, when we take a look at things, or when you want to take a look at things with me, I do practice Realpolitik, reason, but I do analyze things in terms of interest. I do see things through interest. I do see things through resources. I do see things in terms of numbers. And I do see things in terms of geography. And speaking of geography, North Korea will attack the US, or North Korea is a danger to the US. North Korea is all the way in Asia. And you have the Pacific and the Atlantic on either side of America. They will see something coming a mile out. Come on. Come on. North Korea? A threat to America? North Korea will not attack America just like that, like what Japan did in Pearl Harbor. They can't. They don't have resources for that. And say, oh, they have nuclear bombs and they will bomb, blah, blah, blah. I doubt that they do have a cruise missile capable of launching from North Korea to America. I doubt if they have the capability to cross the ocean and hit America without America detecting this. This idea of, democracy, freedom in the world, we are the good guys, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys. These are just pretense. These are just things that you need to say publicly on the political theater. It's a theater. You just need to say this so that the people, the vast majority of the voters who do not see things in terms of realpolitik, do not go up in arms and oppose you for taking resources from another country to benefit your own voters or your own populations. All right? Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you soon. Boom.
You should know a thing about me.